What has always been more than just a building material is a living memory of how humanity once shaped its world. Before steel and concrete transformed skylines, before glass towers rose above cities, it was wood that sheltered families, communities, and entire civilizations. The old wooden houses that still stand today, whether hidden deep in forests, resting quietly in villages, or preserved in historic towns, are not just structures of beams and planks, but reminders of how deeply our ancestors understood nature. Step into one of these houses, and you can hear the floorboards creak with every step, smell the subtle resin still trapped in the grain, and see the marks of tools that carved it centuries ago. Each house, whether humble or grand, is a time capsule, whispering stories of survival, celebration, and daily life. The origins of wooden houses stretch back to the earliest communities, where humans stacked logs, wove branches, and raised shelters against wind and rain. In Europe's north, settlers developed log cabins, interlocking timber walls stuffed with moss for insulation, homes that could withstand bitter winters. In Japan, post and beam wooden houses known as minka were designed with elegance and resilience, often without nails, their joints carved to perfection so the buildings could flex during earthquakes. In Africa, circular wooden houses, such as the Ethiopian tukul, were capped with thatched roofs that kept homes naturally cool in scorching heat. In North America, colonists built simple rectangular homes quickly with timber as they moved westward, while later Victorian wooden houses transformed neighborhoods with ornate trims, gables, and verandas. Every culture adapted wood to climate, available species, and lifestyle, shaping houses that were practical yet uniquely beautiful. What made these houses extraordinary wasn't just their outward appearance, but the craftsmanship behind them. Builders relied on simple tools, axes, saws, chisels, to shape beams and carve joints. Nails were rare or even avoided altogether in many traditions, replaced with joinery so precise that would locked into wood, creating strong and flexible frames. In Japan, carpenters mastered a system where entire temples were constructed without a single nail, and many still stand after more than 1,000 years. In Scandinavia, stave churches from the Middle Ages, built of carefully treated pine, remain upright and awe-inspiring. Crafting a wooden house required patience, skill, and knowledge passed down through generations. Each joint reflected pride, and each beam carried the touch of hands that knew both the strength and fragility of wood. Life inside an old wooden house was equally rich with sensory detail. In winter, smoke curled from chimneys as fires kept rooms warm. Families gathered around wooden tables, light flickering from candles or oil lamps casting shadows across the grain of walls. In summer, doors creaked open to fields and forests, the house breathing with the rhythm of nature. The walls absorbed sound differently. Footsteps echoed warmly. Winds whistled softly through cracks, and rain on the roof became a familiar melody. Every repair, every new scratch or patch told a story of the people who lived there. Neighbors often joined together to raise a house, making construction a communal act, a celebration as much as a necessity. Yet, as alive as wood was, it also faced enemies. Moisture seeped into beams, causing rot if left unattended. Termites and beetles chewed quietly through floors and supports. And above all, fire remained a constant threat, capable of turning whole towns of wooden houses into ash in a single night. Maintenance was never-ending. Roofs needed replacing, tar or oil had to be applied, and beams swapped when they weakened. A wooden house was never truly finished. It demanded a lifelong relationship between owner and structure. But this relationship was also what kept many of these homes alive for centuries. In cultures across the world, wood carried spiritual meaning as well. In Japan, Shinto shrines are ritually rebuilt every 20 years, not because the wood fails, but because renewal itself is sacred. In Norway, stave churches combined Viking artistry with Christian faith, turning carved wood into eternal symbols of devotion. In Ethiopia, tukuls are not just homes, but community anchors, embodying shared traditions. Even in America, the image of a log cabin still symbolizes independence, resilience, and the spirit of the frontier. Wooden houses weren't disposable shelters. They were cultural symbols intertwined with identity. But time, industry, and progress slowly changed their fate. With the rise of brick, concrete, and steel, what began to seem old-fashioned and risky. Cities replaced wooden neighborhoods with modern developments. Fires that swept through timber towns made governments impose stricter building codes. Many wooden houses were abandoned, left to decay as families sought newer, more durable homes. Today, in forests and rural areas, you can still find them. Lonely cabins with collapsed roofs, Victorian houses with peeling paint, or entire ghost towns where wooden walls lean precariously against the weight of silence. Despite their decay, these abandoned houses possess a haunting beauty. Covered in moss, wrapped in vines, their windows broken and their doors ajar, they still stand as witnesses to time. And yet, not all has been lost. Around the world, communities, historians, and craftspeople are fighting to preserve wooden houses. Restoration projects breathe life back into sagging beams and weathered walls. Some homes are transformed into ghost houses, museums, or cultural centers, while others are maintained in their original state, showcasing the artistry of the past. In Japan, traditional carpentry schools ensure that knowledge of ancient joinery survives. In the United States, historic districts protect Victorian wooden neighborhoods. In Africa, tukuls continue to be built and maintained as part of daily life, proving that we can still provide comfort and sustainability in the modern world. Restoration is not easy. It demands patience, funding, and a respect for history. But each preserved house is more than a victory for architecture, it is a victory for memory. Interestingly, as we face modern challenges of climate change and sustainability, wood is making a comeback. Architects are revisiting timber as a renewable, eco-friendly alternative to steel and concrete. Wood stores carbon, insulates naturally, and can be harvested responsibly. Today, architects are building timber skyscrapers, showing that the material of the past can also be the material of the future. But the real lesson from old wooden houses isn't just in their physical properties, it's in the philosophy behind them. These homes survived because people cared for them, because communities saw them as living beings that needed tending, not disposable shells to be abandoned. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of old wooden houses, share this video, subscribe for more, and help keep alive the stories of these incredible structures before the last of them fades forever into silence.